Never do I feel more like a YouTuber than when I do a... So last month I did a rundown for the first time of all the films that I'd watched that month, well, the first time in a while, and it was really well received. I think in part because I did this nice, every review is 10 words or less idea, but that isn't what really grabbed people when they actually watched the video itself. Maybe it's the reason why they clicked on it, but it's not why they stuck around. What seemed to really grab people and what I saw in the comments is that you all really liked that I was in a chat channel that only spoke in haiku. So somehow this extremely nerdy bit of secret shame from my previous life as a teen dweeb, I said that previous, the only thing that's not changed is that I'm not a teen anymore, has come back and suddenly I'm thinking in haiku again. So I thought, in honor of your enthusiasm for that concept, this month, all of the films that I watched in April, I'm going to give a review in a haiku format. And remember, if you want to see these in slightly more traditional formats, you can check out my letterboxd, which is linked here. Oh, I have to remember to hold my hands up for long enough so you can actually read it. Oh, and if you're brand new or if you just haven't thought about doing it, maybe you could do two things for me, which is one, subscribe to the channel, and two, rate this video with a big thumbs up. I haven't done it yet. I'm only just recording it now, so I can't tell you that it's going to be a good video, but I've got a good feeling about this one. Oh, and if you can hear like kids yelling and stuff, it's school kicking out time. So if that sound really angers you, then hey, buck up, you curmudgeon. It's the joys of spring. The Crow. Evocative world. Evocative world. Painstakingly, that's very expensive in syllables. Joyfully gothic. A lot of this video is just going to be me thinking, and I'm going to cut this out for the rest of them, but just so you know, like, I'm not making these up super fast. There's a lot of like counting on fingers, you know? Evocative world, joyfully gothic, and yet devoid of character. No, that's too many syllables. Evocative world, joyfully gothic, and yet devoid of feeling. Yeah. Ooh, that's fire. This is good. Maybe I will be putting these on Letterboxd. Sky High. Yeah, I know, this is like the sister film to Zoom, and I actually enjoyed it because I watched it after seeing Zoom. I don't think it's particularly good in itself. It's just like an actual movie as opposed to the complete mess that is Zoom Academy for Heroes. Parody takes flight as the sidekicks come forward. Hero teens done right. I don't know if you know much about haiku, but in theory it's supposed to have like a seasonal symbol in it, and then there's like another natural symbol. So I managed to work one classic one in there, which is the element of flight, air, which is often linked to spring and youth. So that's kind of like a nice thing to do. See, you came here for movies and shitposting and you're learning about haikus. Isn't this fun? Okay, The Pyramid. This is like a really bad horror movie, quite low budget, with Dennis O'Hare from American Horror Story, who I really like as an actor. So I was quite interested to see this, and it really was just nothing. I can barely remember it. The titular shape is the only structure for Mummy's Mad Meow. And I don't think that last sentence will make any sense until you've seen the film. So don't. Just leave that one hanging. Three Colours Blue. First flight of Triptych. Juliet grasps at freedom, but she just feels blue. That film is amazing, by the way. Curzon did a re-release of all of these, and I managed to catch this one and one other in the cinema. And it's that kind of movie where like I really didn't want to get up out of bed or whatever and go out and see it, but I was so glad I did see it on the big screen, and it really helped draw me into this kind of poetic world that Krishlovsky, the director, makes. So yeah, highly enjoyed that. Wild Mountain Thyme. So yeah, this is one of those like you want to sit down with your girlfriend and watch something stupid kind of movies, and boy did we pick a stupid film. This is like a completely inexplicable Irish film. I should say it's not really an Irish film, it's a film set in Ireland featuring largely British and some American actors inexplicably. Irish accents suck, even Jamie's not buzzing, full stop. Christopher Walken. Who knew that Christopher Walken had 5 syllables? Perfect. Sense and sensibility. The problem is if you're going to try and do a haiku about a film, it's like, do you want to have the tone of the film? Do you want to say how you felt about watching the film? Do you want to talk about the plot? And I've kind of done a bit of all of those so far. But this one's kind of difficult because there's so many different elements of it that I think are interesting. You'll notice, by the way, I've got my lovely, like, just natural sun just, like, slightly in my face kind of thing. Again, this office, I don't know what it is. Why do I always record these videos at, like, 3 p.m? It's just, like, a bad time to do it. Emma's got the sense, and Kate's not sensible, but we all miss Alan. Oh, that's made me sad. Yeah, Alan Rickman, great in that movie. And a testament to the chemistry that he has with Emma Thompson, that my mum just like stops the film when they don't get together every time. I don't think she ever really makes it to the end. She's like, they ended up with the wrong people in that movie. Big Alan Rickman fan, my mum. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. This one surprised me because I kind of was lukewarm on it as an idea in general, because obviously there's been like an awful film before. And also, like, I think the joy of Dungeons & Dragons isn't really in the lore or the storytelling. It's kind of like about doing it with your friends. But I actually really like this one. So my haiku for this is: magic, swords, and quips. A surprising hit is worth a roll of the dice. This sun is really starting to bother me, so we're going to try something I haven't really revealed on the channel before. Standing desk, baby! We're off! Right. I will stand up. I'm just waiting to get out of the sun. God, I feel like a proud dad or something. Oh, that's much better. I can just do these standing now. Wow, the energy level is up. We are, I think, about halfway on this. So the next film I watched was Romancing the Stone. Last time I mentioned a couple of films that I watched like on my phone at 6 a.m. This is what I do when I can't sleep. I often wake up early. I've never really been a good sleeper. And it's great to just like sit and watch something on my phone. And weirdly, it gives me quite a good chunk of time where I'm feeling like I want to engage with something, but I don't want to just engage with TikTok. And so I sat and watched like 80s thriller comedy Romancing the Stone and really enjoyed it, actually. Again, this one's a bit rough, but I feel like this is an okay cover. Come on, I watched this film at like 6 a.m. Chemistry or not, Jones knockoff takes the Michael while delivering. Delivering is a tough one in the context of criticism, because I feel like it's just about, you end up just interpreting films as like functional pieces. Super Mario Brothers, although I think it's literally called the Super Mario Brothers movie, so hopefully no pedants in the comments are gonna hit me up on that. I saw this in the cinema with my partner Phoebe. I don't think it was a good film. I do know that it was a film and that we enjoyed ourselves while we were there, and I kind of, in terms of sheer number of things that I recognised, it was probably the best thing I saw this year. This is a really tough one. I want to do a pun that's like, but princess in another castle, but that's actually too many syllables. That's like princess in another castle. It won't even fit on the middle line, so that's got to go. Princess not in castle feels like a crossword clue or some shit. It's not really in the spirit of it. I've got to be able to reference some Mario shit, because to give back the energy of the film, I really want to have those Easter eggs. Plumber flick hops and wahoos on Rainbow Road, but finishes last place. Charles Martinet, eat your heart out. Mamma mia, that was okay, actually. It felt better saying it than it did writing it. Chupa. I don't know if I was the only person who watched this. I don't have kids. I don't know anyone who has kids, so I don't know if they watched it. This is like Netflix trying to do an Amblin type film, but with a predominantly Mexican and Spanish-speaking cast. It's got a little CGI chupacabra in it. I didn't like this much, but I also felt very strongly that I wasn't the target audience, which was kids specifically. And I did think that it did a bit more of like, it had more of a story to tell than the usual kind of like Amblin flashback kind of stuff, like say the most recent Ghostbusters iteration and things like that. Furry winged puppy fails to take flight in throwback, wrestling with the past. You know what? These are really fun. It's nice to have this kind of like organizing principle in terms of like making these tiny little reviews, but also to think about the way the structure of the haiku forces you to like condense down your thoughts is really enjoyable. Nobody. This was one that I really enjoyed watching. I feel like I was in the right place. I had a drink in my hand, I ate a pizza, and I watched Nobody. It's nice to see a movie that's like really action heavy, but has several bits where a dude is just like beating to shit and really feels it. Almost like that bit in They Live where they just smack the shit out of each other slower and slower. Bob's not nobody in playful action caper that plays to the crowd. 2 plays. Can I do better at that? Bob's not nobody in pacey action caper that plays to the crowd. There we go. Pacey. Always good. Pacey means the critic stayed awake throughout the whole film. Mirror Mask. Mirror Mask is like this mid-noughties film that was directed by Dave McKean, who's mostly known as a graphic artist. He did all the covers for Sandman, the Neil Gaiman kind of seminal novel, graphic novel. And Gaiman wrote this. This was also produced by the Jim Henson Company, so I had some interesting expectations for it. Unfortunately, it comes from that really brief bit of the noughties where people were thinking they could do everything on green screen, and it doesn't really work. It looks a lot like someone's grad film. It's paced like a grad film, and it lasts for an hour and a half, and it feels like 3 hours. So nothing much to recommend about it, but let's have a go. Hey Dave, Carnivalesque. Backing in cold and wants his aesthetic back. Hey gang, Future Will here. You might notice that actually is not a correct haiku because the top line is 6 syllables, not 5. In my defense, I was literally making these up on the fly, but I hope you can forgive me, and I think you will really enjoy the amount of hubris that's shown by the following joke. Cheers. That is a literally £1,000 joke, right? Like, my entire degree built up to me being able to make that joke, and now I'm here, I don't even really know if it makes sense. But boy, am I proud of it. Me letting the joke out into the world. Like, now people know how clever I am. Three Colours White. This is the second part of that trilogy. I actually still haven't seen the last part. But yeah, so this one is set in Poland during the kind of post-communist era, and it's all about equality is the French ideal that it's supposed to limit to. The other one's about freedom, and the last one's about love. So this is kind of about equality or the lack thereof. Making or losing, the races are all the same to the rats in them. That is my GCSE art version of this. This is like a high school, I'm going to scroll that on like a picture of Ronald McDonald, and that's my final piece. And last but not least, The Privilege, which I think, if I could remember anything about it, would be the worst thing that I saw this month. It's like a YA horror. It's a German film that doesn't really have anything notable about it. There's one character thing that's quite interesting, but it's not really justified, doesn't really interact with the plot, so it's kind of meaningless in this context. I can't even remember now, actually, if it's a supernatural or a science fiction horror. I think they maybe tried to have it both ways. Yeah, this is really a nothing movie. Killer clouds, dead cis, and yet more zombie mushrooms. This ain't it, Junge. Can you use another language in a haiku? I don't care, because that's the end of all the films that I watched in April. Slightly less than in March. I think I watched 14 films this month versus, if I remember correctly, 18 films the month before. So I've got to start really pumping those numbers up if I'm going to hit over my record. I think my record in a year was 200 films. So yeah, I'm on film like 65 right now, and I've just got to, I want to just shoot straight past that finish line. I don't want to get 201. I want 250. We're gunning for it. Hope you enjoyed watching, and do let me know what you thought of the format in the comments below. I am actually going to do another 10 words to describe movies video soon, because I know people really enjoyed that previous format, but it's a little bit different. It's not a monthly one, and it was suggested by my friend David. So we're going to keep an eye out for it. We're going to thank David when it comes out, because it is a good idea. And I also want to know if there's anything really good that you watched this month. I would love to find out what you've all been seeing. And as I said before, if you want to see these kind of on a more regular basis, or maybe more in depth, then you should check out my letterbox, which is linked in the description and at the bottom of the screen right now. Will, remember to put the text in. You almost forgot last time. That's it from me. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.